This is for Libra. I thought I would do this as just what sort of the energies that are coming in for this month. So what I want to go through here is just a little bit of some of the main energies. So I'm just going to recap it and summarize it at the end, but I will also go through, this is more along the lines of relationship aspects. And then we've also got some of the other cards that come out here as your main energy. So the main energy, really nothing is coming through as arcana. So this would to me indicates that it's really more just a working month of processing some of the just the energies that you're already dealing with. So when I see the Five of Wands come out, I mean, that is more of an indicator that this is something of a combative, well, I don't want to say combative necessarily, but this is representative of internal struggles and all of those things. So this kind of speaks to that energy of, trying to deal with other people's jealousies. It's things along that line as well. So again, this is just the main energies. We'll recount here, but Five of Wands does indicate that there's a little bit of a challenge. Perhaps I would say more leaning toward the beginning of the month. And then we have the energy of the Queen of Cups. This is a mature energy, definitely speaks to dealing with some inner emotions that might be at play there. So certainly it is coming out as a mature energy. So that does represent as someone, it could be, again, even with yourself, or this could also represent as a water sign. But I do feel like there is thing around this situation that kind of speaks to me as an issue around the emotions, or at least it seems to be something that's affecting the emotions there. But again, you're still coming off as quite strong and in control of yourself. This is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius with the Queen of Wands. Again, this is kind of that energy of standing strong, visionary, still a lot of momentum, emotionally coming through, handling whatever's coming forward. These are all leadership energies with the queens, but they're also very receptive energies, not so much commanding and king oriented. It's more along the lines of energies that kind of represent as, going forward and taking the initiative towards something. So again, two of the queens here. We also have the Five of Wands, and then we end up with the Page of Wands. So this indicates you could also be dealing with some news that's coming in, and this could also represent a young energy. But this also indicates that there is a spark of inspiration, some sort here that's going forward. So either way, that part is just the general energy, and then we'll go through the clarifiers here in a bit. Now, I want to start out with just this is more the relationship of things. So again, this doesn't have to be a love relationship. For many of us, we have different relationships and connections to people that are moving along in different ways. So this can speak to a family relationship. This can speak to a friendship. But however it resonates, you'll know once you actually see this. So the Three of Pentacles is indicating that there is something here, because it is that's kind of a collaborative or coordinated sort of effect here. It is sitting here with the Hanged Man though energy, and that is one, again, in general, this is sitting still, having to change perspective or having to shift something. But again, this is just general message first, and then we'll actually tie it in together. Six of Wands is that energy of a victory, drawing some attention to yourself in some way. Three of Wands, something is going forward, but there is still a delay in the actual evolution of it. And then the Ace of Wands, this is definitely a new start, or a lot of ideas coming through, I'd say, in this month. And again, in regards to this connection, there can, for some of you, this is going to look like some passion that's been sort of put on hold, and it's more in an energy of learning to work together is more what I would say. Finances seems to be what's ruling that aspect right now. Working together to build the finances and to create more of a legacy sense of, longer term money is represented. Two of Wands is something that's still going forward. You have the Two and the Three of Wands. So I want to say this is in that direction of really starting to build on something there, because the Three of Pentacles is a coordinated effort to really start to get things back in order. And then the Four of Swords, of course, is where there can be a little bit of a healing energy there. And we'll go through that as well. But anyway, just we're going to get right into those, and then we'll go through the clarifiers on the other for the Five of Wands and all of that. Okay, so Three of Pentacles, like I said, It does indicate that this is about teamwork or collaborating or building something together, or you're investing in something together. So there's something here with the hangman that's clarifying, that's sort of showing that, there is advancement, but then there's a little bit of a stalled energy, and it might be just to sort of realign things to get things back on the same page. So, even though there is progress, the progress is just stalled temporarily because maybe you're just not seeing the efforts, clearly as evolving in some way. So it's like the hard work is there, but each of you may be just stuck in your own viewpoint of things. And it's not that you're being taken for granted necessarily, but you're just not appreciating the full value of each other at this point. Now, I would say with the Six of Wands, this is a victory, or there's some kind of recognition, or again, this can be public acknowledgement as well. But it also indicates with that Three of Wands that can be a little further out. So there is something here about getting recognition from someone, or even a boss, that thing, but getting recognition in some way with a public acknowledgement. But this is more future focused. So again, you can expect some delays, especially with the hangman energy. And, it's not that, again, you're being taken for granted in this situation necessarily, but it's about how things are being achieved. So what I want to say there is that it looks like, you're having to look ahead with the Three of Wands at the next thing that you can move on with. But it's also about taking time to sort of honor what is going on. So again, there's something about the approach or something that has to be changed in the way that each other are appreciating each other. Because it feels like you're not fully appreciating each other because of the perspective, the angle that you're looking at something, or the framework around it. And again, it's a little more future oriented, but at least there's a spark, there's some momentum, there's definitely some kind of vigor. And again, for others, if it's a relationship, this is new energy that speaks to passion. And for others, this is more familial because of that Ten of Pentacles energy here at the end. Sorry, on the other side there, I won't pull them all forward. But it still speaks to, this being a long-term kind of situation of stability and security and legacy. So there's something here that's at play that deep down, somebody really sees your real value and knows that you're very important, appreciates you. But it's like there's a need for, more excitement, rather than sitting with the gratitude, because right now it just feels like there's almost a standstill in that direction for the time being. But the underlying message is that energy is there, that there is still, an ability to kind of make plans and look forward. So again, the choice is looking ahead, but again, with that Four of Swords energy, there was something here that kind of speaks to some rest and recuperation. There's a healing energy around this connection. But it also shows more of a passivity. So what I want to say is that there's more of a rest, retreat, and contemplation of things with that energy. So someone might be also, whether this is you or another, look at the future with the Two of Wands. Well, not just with the two, it's the Ace, Two, and Three of Wands. So they're really building on that future energy right now. So they're not actively making decisions that kind of represent around you at this time. It's almost like they've kind of taken the initiative to sort of refocus on their own world in this. And again, it's inspired energy or action, and a lot of that's coming through for this other person, I would say. Now, we did actually have the Page of Cups at the very bottom. So again, emotions are still very young and still kind of, has to reach a certain level of maturity. And so it means that there's some information that's wisdom, and others that's still building. So again, this is love, this is affection, and it's being expressed in maybe, an immature way or something like that, but it's still emotions and it's still connection. But it definitely feels like there is appreciation here. But again, it's not going to necessarily show. It's more like undying everything, because on the surface there is a level of coordination, but there is also that energy of kind of being stuck at that point of things. So again, emotionally, there's some feelings with that Page of Cups, but again, it's more along the lines of kind of that neophyte energy. It's, immature in the way that it's being expressed. It's not being fully realized. But in the near future, of course, there's more balance and healing, because we do actually have I did see the Temperance card that came out there as well. And again, with the Ten of Pentacles, it's longer and enduring, and it's more, there we are. So your Temperance energy, again, is showing up here. So this also indicates that there is balance and healing. It's going to be a slow progress, though. It won't be shifting overnight. But it's more about softening the energy around one another so that, then you know that it's more, what's the word I'm looking for? If the energy softens, they're more receptive to connecting. And so right now, if there's too many walls up, that connection can't really go forward. And I feel like there's walls. So what I would say there is just, the message is just to wait until some more of the healing is done. It's not quite in that stage yet. But I would still say that there is progress that's being made, even though there's a bit of, when it gets to the hangman energy, it's like things have to pull back and have to stop so that, you have to be strong and be patient, because this is somebody who's working through your own shadow work and that kind of thing. So it's not all about your connection with this person at this time. It's more about their connection with themselves, I would say. Again, I do feel like that you are, representing here as a valuable person to this person. All the cards generally speak to very long-term energy. But again, I feel like they aren't consciously processing their appreciation of you right now, because they're still, passive aggressive kind of energy and distracted emotionally. So it's not intentional. It's just that it's like it's just they have to learn to appreciate themselves, I would feel at a point. So again, we're going to go back into the other cards here now, which were other main energies, and go deviate away from the relationship aspect of things for a minute. So when we get back to this one, this is again the main cards that came out. So we had the Five of Wands, we have the Queen of Cups, emotional energy, Queen of Wands, fiery start, Page of Wands. And again, that kind of speaks to momentum here. So again, there is still some kind of, there's an issue of some sort with the Five of Wands, and then we'll go through the clarifiers on this. But I would say it is clarified again by the Judgment and the Ace of Swords. So that really tells me there is still a big shift that's taking place underlying. I would definitely say with the Queen of Cups, well, actually, just in that one little space there, I would say that May is going to be filled with some kind of internal tension, because it's like an emotional evolution. So this is where, you're going to be transforming you, and I feel like those around you are also in that same sort of space, or some of those energies anyway. It does begin with the Five of Wands, so there is an element of competing energy there, external, internal. So you're going to feel a little bit challenged, maybe scrutinized or pushed into kind of an emotional, practical sort of decision there. But I would still say, this is in that of, you're still sort of standing your ground. It's not a random conflict, because the Judgment and the Ace of Swords tells me that this is kind of a wake-up call. So you're being called to, get rid of all the illusions and really see wholeheartily what it is that you're facing here. So every tension is really a test of how clear are you on your sense of purpose. You'll see what is the true step and what is your voice in it, when you kind of pull away all of the secondary emotions and all of the things that were up your ability to be observant and sharp. So I'm going to say here that you can trust your deep emotions, because you're going to be clear and sharp in how you advance forward. You're doing the research. This is somebody who could also be buying on you, watching you, that kind of thing. But the Page of Swords also demands that, you don't let sentimentality kind of blind you here as well. So this is all about emotional intelligence. There's a lot of Seven of Swords. There's definitely one energy here that's pretty significant, but I would say for the most part, emotional intelligence is really being paired with you having a keen observation of things. So I'm still going to say that this is, because that Queen of Wands also came out there, I'm going to say that that Queen of Wands is still an indicator here that there is mature energy. It's kind of rising leadership, and it is, next level of your passionate projects, this kind. So it's almost like there's a new beginning in your confidence and your self-worth. So all of that seems to be kind of changing in this month. And so it does really kind of focus on your balance with the Queen of Wands. Again, it's a creative spark, and it's where you're able to attract opportunities or things that kind of move you ahead and work with whatever your creative projects are. But I would say with the page energy there, page of swords, page of wands, it's still, something is still building. And I would still say that still relates around your confidence level, but you're building something real. There's a lot of personal power and energy and investment that's showing up here. And I still feel like that page of wands, clarified by the three of swords, still indicates be at odds with a younger person here as well. There's some level of distance or conflict emotionally. But I'm going to say that there is still a wild kind of restlessness or a need for adventure or change that's coming through. And it's come through because of heartbreak or you know, the heart space has been impacted in some way, or disappointment, however that resonates for you. So there is going to be something that is going to be kind of a realization or a sting of truth here again. Because that pain with the, you know, the page of swords and the three of swords here, it does feel like there's going to be something here that makes you, it's a spark. The pain has created a spark in you that is making you choose differently. So you're not wanting to play small, you're wanting to expand out. You really want to take charge of things and really advance. That's what I would say. I don't feel like you're giving up in any stretch of the word, because the Five of Pentacles, this is what was at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like there was that sense of feeling abandoned, getting, you know, not being involved or not enough in some, you know, some sense of the word. But I would still say that that energy is more haunting the background versus where you're at now. So in the month of May, I feel like the pain is, yes, the ghost of the old wound here, is what you're kind of walking past, but it's also not allowing, you know, the scarcity of the thinking and the money and all of that to be a part of things anymore. So you're not letting it define your future. So I feel like the gift of May for you is going to be more along the lines of, because we also had the energy of, we've got the Seven of Pentacles here as well. So the Seven of Pentacles tells me that there is that energy of having to wait, and you've got some investments or something you're putting your time and energy and effort into. But I want to say that the cards as the biggest energies that are coming out for this month actually came through quite happy. So biggest energies that you're going to be dealing with in a more positive way are the Two of Pentacles. So this is you balancing the chaos. This is you experiencing faster resolve and faster progress once you commit to something more wholeheartedly, which I feel is what you're doing in May. And then the Cups, this is all about emotional fulfillment. It's deep happiness at a soul level. So again, this can be in around family as well, but there's something here that's showing early May, tensions arise with that Five of Wands, and then you're challenged to choose your path and get clear on what it is that you want with that Ace of Swords energy. And then once you do that, it's like everything else just starts to fall into place. Sorry, I just want to find our Ace of Swords energy here. Because as I said, the Ace of Swords, once you make that decision, after this Five of Wands energy here, it feels like everything just starts to open up. Personal power ignites, you know, Queen of Cups and that Page of Swords is personal power. The Queen of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. So there's something there about still observing, sharpening your skill set. And again, by later May, I feel that heart space where it was disrupted with the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, you know, that heart area is going to be where you leap toward this new space with that. Again, it's still in the page level, but the Page of Wands does indicate that you're just going to jump right in. So it's almost like you've had enough, or you're done with, you know, just dealing with any kind of same old negativities or whatever that's standing in your way or causing inner conflict or external conflict. So this is where you actually leap toward the new journey, and there's a lot more faster moving energy to get there. So, and it's going to be faster moving towards your emotional fulfillment, because those are the cards that came out together. So I want to tell you that I feel like you're stepping out of kind of a false, you know, comfort. Now you're into this roaring light of your own, you know, choosing. It's moving into, again, Two of the Queens. You know, it's more of an emotional stepping up, so that and there's a confidence level that's developing here in the month of May. There has been pain that kind of springs it out of you though, but I would still say it does represent the dreams that you're seeking are relating around stability, emotional wholeness, prosperity, you know, family happiness, connection, and it already exists here in the future. Cup, you know, the 10 of Cups, it already exists here. So your task this month is really just to walk through that fire and really get clear on what it is you want. It's also about having compassion for yourself with the Queen of Cups energy there, and just survive. You know, you're being called not to just survive May, but to transform through it, and I feel that that's what we're doing. I would still say overall that this information is, again, they're minor cards, but I would still say overall the message is that, you know, balance the chaos, fast moving progress once you commit with that Queen, or the sort of Ace of Swords, and then you'll have a lot more of this, you know, this connection to your final emotional fulfillment. So again, this is the timeline. It's 5 of Wands challenged at the beginning of the month. You choose yourself and what you feel is the right truth for you. You're clear on what's important to you, getting clear on what's important. And then by mid-May, your emotions and your observations sort of sharpen with the Queen of Cups, Page of Swords. And you had that personal power that kind of ignites with that Queen of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. So that's a lot of initiation, a lot of action that's taking place there. So again, pain kind of swings it to this point of you choosing to move a lot faster in the direction of the things that you want. So anyway, that looks really good for the month of May, and keep moving forward. As I said, just small energies that you're working through for the month of May, but for the most part, they're still very significant and transitional, and it's you choosing you and you getting really clear on what is important for the month of May. That's what I have for you, Libra. Until the next month. Sorry, I didn't see all you guys on there. I was just kind of focused on my thing. Hi, Arahant. And hi there, Shorts. Anyway, that's what I've got. And we'll do another read here for you guys in the next little bit. But I might just do one more sign here for Leo. Keep moving forward, guys. Never give up.